Daniel. He was the leader of advisors for King Darius, who was the ruler of Babylon. Daniel believed in God, but the other advisors didn't like that. So they devised up a plan to get Daniel caught up. They made the king make a law that said you can only pray to the king and you can only worship him. Everyone knew that Daniel loved God, the God of Israel. After the law was passed, Daniel prayed 3 times a day. Didn't care, didn't have no shame. After the law was passed, he continued praying 3 times a day with his windows open and his doors open so people could see. So when the other advisors seen him praying after the law was passed, they brought him up on charges, and the charges were to be thrown into the lion's pit. The king favored Daniel. He loved Daniel, so once he found out that Daniel obeyed the law, he was sad, but he had to do what he had to do because even the king couldn't change the law after the law was passed. So the king said, I hope the God that you pray to so consistently will save you. Nobody asked for your smart comment. So they threw Daniel into the lion's den. They sealed the door and the king went home. He couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep. He was worried because he liked Daniel and he knew Daniel was about to die. As soon as the sun came up, he ran to the pit and was like, Daniel, are you still alive in there? And Daniel was like, duh. Daniel said, yeah, my God sent somebody down here to shut the lion's mouth. They couldn't even open their mouths if they tried. Because God knew I don't even belong here. Like, you was just being extra by throwing me in here in the first place. And he probably acknowledged, yeah, I was doing the most. So they pulled Daniel out and he had not a scratch on him. And immediately the king ordered all the advisors that made him write that law into the pit themselves, along with their wives and children. I'd be pissed if I was married to one of them idiots. Or if you was a child, like, dang, I got to die because you want to be hateful. So the king threw them and all their families in the pit, and before they even made it to the bottom of the pit, the lions devoured them. They gone. Then the king passed a new law because he had seen a wonderful miracle. He passed a new law saying everyone in Babylon has to worship the God that Daniel worships, the God of Israel. Basically, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. What the devil meant for bad, God will always work out for your good. You just gotta be consistent like Daniel was. Daniel probably laid in that pit all night and prayed, because I would have been terrified too. The prayers of the righteous availeth much. There's so many takeaways from this story, but Daniel knew that his God was going to take care of him. I feel like all the morals of these biblical stories are the same, but the same way God took care of Daniel, he can take care of you. Have faith.